What's up? My name is Mara, and I have been a client of Team Ascension Fitness for coming up on 1 year now. I started with them in May of 2022. I came to them kind of like at a weird plateau in my fitness journey. I just wasn't sure what the best next steps were for me. And I kind of was scrolling TikTok and was getting on the more fitnessy side of things and saw a lot of people just talking about coaches and bodybuilding and all that good stuff, and that's actually how I ended up finding them. One of my favorite TikTokers worked with Alyssa for posing, and I played with the idea of getting coaches, and that's how I met them. And I also wasn't really sure what I wanted to do every time I stepped in the gym, and that's how I knew, above all else, regardless of what else I was going to do, that I needed someone to help me, programming, guiding me on what was best to do and how to do it, when to do it. I needed more assistance, and that's when we made the decision that I wanted to do a debut in wellness, and we set a timeline of about 8 months, I think, from last May to make it to my first show. From the very first day, Alyssa was very open about the process, not just the good and the fun behind getting to compete, being in a bikini, all that stuff that you see online that looks all good and golden. But she was very open about the negative implications that come with competing and, making sure that, my mindset aligned with someone that could handle it, making sure that I was aware that it was going to take a lot, not only to get through prep, but to get through after the show. It affects you a lot mentally, not just because it's hard seeing your body change, but, truly the hormones changing and your body's shifting so drastically from the show to after. She really made sure that that was a part of the initial discussion that I was made aware of. We originally had set that 8-month timeline, and then moving forward, I think later in the year, last year, they came to me in one of my check-ins and wanted to open the discussion of maybe waiting, extending my growth season. Carter had told me, he saw a lot of potential in me, and he felt that if I truly was patient and extended my growth season and then went into a prep, that I could, be in a place to nationally qualify at my first show and really make a good run of it if I wanted to keep pushing past and not just do one and done show. And I listened to them. I took the time to think and evaluate my life and evaluate what the implications were of extending this timeline versus, stepping on stage when we originally thought. And I decided to listen to them and trust them and keep growing. And that also meant that I was on a bulk throughout the holidays, so I didn't have to worry about being on prep or adjusting my lifestyle in any way. I did get to kind of enjoy the holiday season last year, and prep started in January of this year. With prep, I think everything about how we did it was very transparent. We went for a shorter prep, and Carter and Alyssa have always been so good with explaining to me why we choose to do certain things. At first, when I had discussed my prep with them, I had thought preps were 25 weeks, something crazy. Now I recognize how different it is from person to person. But they explained to me why we chose the prep length that we chose for me. Looking back, I'm so glad we did it the way we did it, because everything's just about efficiency and taking care of your body. And like I said, Carter and Melissa have been so open with explaining to me the negative implications that come with prepping and competing. And so everything we do, as much as we want to get me stage ready, also has that second thought behind it of, what are we reversing out of? How are we setting myself up for success after the show to make sure that you want to do everything you can to look as good as possible and, do as well as you can at the show, but also you have to think about life goes on after, and everything you do has to have that second background thought of, is this sustainable? Can I reverse out of this? Is it going to be healthy for me? Is it detrimental to me in any way? And like I said, they've always been very good at keeping that top of mind for me and explaining to me when I don't understand certain implications, if I don't understand a change in my food protocol or my nutrition, workouts, any of that, they take a step back and explain to me the reasoning, not just saying you just got to do it. So aside from the fact that I got to compete, I've learned a lot. I feel I have so much more knowledge just around fitness, nutrition, all that stuff now than I did when I started. But yeah, working with them has been great. Just in general, if you're not competing, having someone helping you just with what to do in the kitchen and what to do in the gym can really change a lot about your life. This in general has changed my life, whether I keep competing after this year or not. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned about sacrifice, sacrifice both like time working out and like food sacrifice for like a long-term goal, and just having something to look forward to aside from like working and paying bills has been really great. So I'm definitely going to keep working with them, and I'm grateful that I have found them and that they were the ones that kind of brought me on this journey and have led me all the way to where I am now. And I think we're going to go really far, I hope. So yeah, that's about it for me. I'm going to have to cut this video up because I made it really long, but